My name is Tonya Jackson, and I am currently on the board of Hooker Furnishings, which is a public company located in Virginia. And over my career, I spent all of my career at Lexmark. Lexmark was an imaging provider. It was recently acquired by Xerox. But at Lexmark, I had roles of Chief Supply Chain Officer, Chief Product Delivery Officer, which was a combination job of R&D and supply chain. And I actually finished my role as Chief People Officer, so making a pretty big switch across the organization, but always, kind of driving systems thinking and working with the talented people that we had at Lexmark. People are no longer expecting the supply chain to go back and regroup and those types of things. They're expecting us to say, okay, this has changed, this has happened, and now, given all this information, how are we going to react? What decisions are we going to make? So you need space to make bigger decisions in real time, not just survive for the day, because it's kind of, there is a survival mode that goes on, but beyond just answering this question, you're really expected to say, what are all the options? What's the best option for this particular situation? So from a technology change, I think having systems, having tools, having a means of having visibility across the supply chain, and not only now that you have visibility, being able to have the insight as to what is that visibility telling me, and then what is my decision? What am I going to do? And having options, because that's the biggest thing that I think an increment that would help the supply chain, because sometimes you make the very best decision that you can, but you don't know what your options, what all the options could be. And I marry that to an organizational change, because for me, the supply chain team or the operations team, the commercial team, and the financial team, they're all like a system that's working together. And the incremental change happens when these groups are not siloed, and there's a way, whether it's a system, whatever it may be, so that everyone can see into what's going on and can give their input to help with that best decision. As a leader of supply chain, what I've learned, and what I enjoyed about it, is you're working in the middle of the organization. So you're always talking with the finance team, you're always talking with the commercial team, the development team. You don't make any decisions in your silo. If you do, it's a bad one, right? So you're going to have to work across the organization. And so what you try to do as a leader is to make sure you have the best information. And again, platforms such as ketteQ will help that. And then you're going to have to bring people together to say, this is based on X, Y, and Z. What are our scenarios? What are our trade-offs? And have a really good, robust conversation. And then from a leadership perspective, you go back and you explain the why. We've made this decision, this is why. And that helps the organization move forward. You don't lose a lot of time with people wondering, like, well, we were doing this, now we're not doing that. You can explain the why. You have everybody aligned, and not just in the supply chain. You have everybody aligned across the organization. They understand the pain points, because if you're developing a system to solve a problem, you need to understand what the problem is. You need to have worked in the problem, walked in those shoes, kind of thing. And I've come across several people who have a very good background. They've worked in supply chains, and so it's very easy. There's no translation that you have to go through. There's no talking around a problem. It's like they can get right to the heart of the problem. So I've appreciated the expertise that they have and the passion that they have to solve the problem. And along with that, because they've worked in the area, the empathy that they have, that, I'm trying to make this, I'm trying to solve this, right? And so that I've appreciated.